Hey, welcome, session 11, Scourge of Savina campaign. We are pretty much at the end of our story, but there's some loose ends we need to tie up. So we've got most of the group together. We're missing our good druid today, um, but everybody else is here besides that, and we are going to kind of wrap up the rest of our story. So last week, the group explored Wave Echo Cave at the behest of their rock seeker friends. They encountered a large green floating head with lots of eyeballs, and a wraith almost TPK'd the group. That was a lot of fun. And then there was a flame skull that also wrecked some faces. But the party came out on top, and we are going to kind of wrap up the rest of what is in Wave Echo Cave for our group today. Um, so, as you guys were headed back to check in with Nundro and Droop, who were watching your captives, you heard some sounds of some fighting on the way back, and I am going to move your characters and show you some stuff.
Did I get the map?
Oh yes, I will push it out to you as soon as I've got it prepared. Okay. So, as you were headed back through the smelter cavern where you encountered the flame skull, you hear the sounds of fighting taking place. And you kind of peek around the corner, and you see a group of bugbears that is battling some ghouls, which are these very nasty looking um, undeads. And oh, looks like Demi dropped.
Oh,
Game crash after map update. Lovely.
classic.
So you see these bugbears, and this room just to your right at the top of the stairs is it looks like a set of barracks, and just peering inside, it looks like um, this is probably I'm trying to remember who listened in on this room. I think it was Almatis. Um,
It
so
was me and Lanaden.
okay, so you guys you are pretty sure this is the room that you heard the grumblings from, um, and it looks like they've hastily picked up their belongings and are leaving because there's no food left in there. All the bedrolls are rolled up. It looks like a pretty barren little barracks area. And as you're watching this battle unfold, it seems like it's pretty evenly matched with the ghouls taking out a couple of the bugbear, until you watch and see that they end up striking down all the ghouls, and there's only two left at the end of the battle, and they hastily strip some gold off of one of their comrades, a little pouch, and just hightail it down out south of the room. You can step inside and see that this is a great cavern. It looks like it was a banquet room at one point, and there are just skeletal remains of dozens of dead warriors here. Looks like there was a huge battle in this room back when Wave Echo Cave fell in the past.
Oh,
And you are free to do anything that you would be interested in doing at this point.
Wait, we are talking about the room downstairs or the room like right next to us?
Downstairs.
Okay. Can I listen into the room next to us?
So the room next to you, the door is actually open.
Oh, I see.
So you could see that stuff I described about it being looking like it was pretty much abandoned.
Okay. So there is nothing. Can I look around?
So
We have been told to clear out.
from what you can see in there, it really looks pretty barren. There are some old stone bunks along the walls, and the fire in the fire pit is still lit. But looking around, these guys were just basically using it to sleep. And if anybody wants to make an insight check, they could do that.
Let's do that. Whew.
So, with all of the factors that play into everything that has happened here recently, you Thanatos, you recall that Nausicaa said that sounded like someone tried to get into the priest quarters where you guys were locked in, and you're kind of intuiting that these bugbears probably saw that the temple totally destroyed, and couldn't find their leader, and just kind of decided to bail, because their boss is gone, and it looked like something really bad happened in that room, seeing how everything was destroyed in there, and that this party that you just saw fighting these ghouls is probably the rest of the Black Spider's troops.
Okay. I'm telling the party what I thought happened there.
Okay. I don't know if the Black Spider's troops like report to Glassstaff or not. I don't know if
Nah,
should maybe
he's
chase them
somewhere
down?
else. Nah.
or if
Most
we should
likely,
head back
from
to the room.
what he's saying, it's most likely they're abandoning this place because they have no leadership and so they have no reason to be here.
So your ideas about Glassstaff are that he's subordinate to the um, Black Spider, and that he kind of serves the same organization that the Black Spider works for, but he is lower on the totem pole.
Oh, I see.
Black Spider's not here anyway. He's on
Black
another.
Spider is captured.
Yeah. No.
No, the Black Spider Glass stuff isn't here.
Yeah, but glass stuff isn't the Black Spider.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, they both the people kind of similarly reported to each other, but they couldn't find Black Spider, and Glassstaff we know is somewhere else. We don't know where he is, but we know he's not here.
Yeah.
So the two last bugbears have most likely fled.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were gonna go to him though. That was.
We're gonna. That shouldn't be an issue for us right now, to be honest.
Yeah, so do we just want to kill the bugbears
They're
to
gone.
clear out?
They're gone.
They're gone?
I don't think we can.
They've
catch
left.
Oh, then never mind.
Let's just go back.
Can
It should be
we
cleared out.
look downstairs?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, then.
We have been asked to clear out the space, so we don't know what other things there are in here.
Just to be sure, I do the stealth check. I want to be sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And then I move here.
So I've described this area to you guys already, but as you move through, you do see just a whole bunch of skeletons and just kind of this ruined area that used to be a banquet room, probably. And there's a trail, a faint trail of blood from the bugbears heading down that way. And kind of as you continue exploring, I'll just reveal the rest of this area down here for you. So you explore some more. There's another set of barracks down here that has been cleared out, and just looks like abandoned barracks. And there is a storeroom that has a bunch of old busted kegs. This is obviously where they kept the mead and the beer, but that was hundreds of years ago, so they are all cracked and split open and dried out. And to the far south, you see some additional looks like old guard rooms and offices, where the guard rooms have some splintered and smashed skeletons. It looks like probably when the bugbears came in, they cleared it out. But in the office across the way, the smaller room, it seems like it was an office or storeroom of some kind, and there's a large stone counter down the middle of the room, and old paper ledger notes of shipments coming and going, and there's a locked iron strongbox underneath the counter.
Do you want to try and open it, Anvin?
Hey, cat!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Would that just be
So it's
dexterity check
a
for
locked.
picking locked? Yeah, I've got the lock picks and stuff.
Yes, yeah. So you kind of fumble with it. It's been a long day, and your hands are just not they're not as steady as they usually are.
Yeah, sure.
So you're having difficulty getting into it at this time. It's not a significant size, so somebody, especially maybe Uladon, could easily kind of carry this around with you guys if you wanted to. When he picks it up, and kind of you can hear rattling inside, there's definitely a fair amount of coins in there.
Yeah. Can I just take 10 and just try again in like 10 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Or I try over time?
Yeah, for sure.
We'll take it with us for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Can we just break open the lock, like, with force?
Oh yeah, I
Can if
could.
you want, but
That's vandalism.
Dude,
Fuck yes.
you can if you want. Go for it.
Alright. Do you need some bit of fucked so I can't do a strength check? So can you please roll for me?
Yes, I
I'll
can.
fucking smash the box.
Let me pull you up. Strength check. So you kind of line the box up on its side, and kind of as gingerly as you can start tapping it with your axe, and it doesn't seem to yield, and so you kind of rear back a little bit and chop it like it's a piece of wood, and it just kind of it opens and coins scatter all over the floor. You spend some time picking them up, and let I'm going to add them to your party inventory.
What a power play.
Mhm.
So there's a fair amount of gold here. It's 60 gold pieces and then a whole bunch of
Cool.
copper and silver and whatever EP stands for. I don't remember. Ethereum or
Wasn't
something.
it something, yeah. Something platinum, was it? I don't
So I'll distribute that out to everybody.
Nice.
And then you all you're fairly certain that you've seen everything there is to see around here, and that in your estimation the cave has been cleared, and the group makes their way back to Nundro and Droop. I will just help you guys get up there.
What was that about the mushroom stuff in the
We knew that they would
southeast
probably
part
poison
of
and
the
paralyze
cave?
us.
Yeah, they were. So somebody made a nature check and figured out that they were. If any of the fungus was disturbed, it would release a poisonous gas, which is bad. So you guys decided to circumvent around that.
Hmm. Okay.
That was probably a good move.
I was just thinking about like that we could tie someone to a rope and let
But
him walk in to
We don't
check
need
once
to.
you get
gas
touched, you
control.
still get poisoned or something, whatever the fuck it does.
It's not worth it.
Okay. Just
So,
another death trap.
so you guys get back to the priest's quarters, and Nundro and Droop are eager to see you. How did it go?
Well,
What?
okay.
I can't
Aiming
remember
to
how
kill.
far we were like last time we saw them.
We just
So we found the spectator. We fought the Red Skull, and we killed the not lich. It wasn't a lich. It was
Ghoul.
It wasn't a ghoul. It was something. Can't remember.
Oh, it was a wraith, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. There you go. There were many monsters in the cave. Oh, good. It's all clear for you guys now.
That's
There is.
such great news. Finally, some happy news.
I will just say, if you plan to occupy this place, they've got a huge cleaning work to do. Place is filthy and
Bones
full of
everywhere.
bones. But that should be all you need us for.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm so happy. Thank you so much. And he goes around and shakes everybody's hand individually.
Excellent.
What do you plan to do with these captives?
Honestly, I would take them somewhere to interrogate, but I don't know what I get out of them, and it might be a long journey.
Well, we
Definitely need to find out more about their organization if we have one to work for.
we certainly can't be letting them go, for sure.
No. Of course not. Guess for now we'll have to take them with us.
Where are you headed?
That I do not know.
Well, if you head back to Phandalin, I'm sure you said Gundren is still there. Maybe
Yes, I tell you what, before I head anywhere, we should make sure that he's okay.
Yeah, we should see if the magic's effect worn off.
maybe I will travel with you. We will need more supplies and to recruit more people to help us get this back up and running again.
Yes. I mean, my whole quest for this was to explore this caves, and surprised that there's less of it than I expected. But it's still, there were still things to be found, that's for sure.
It
tell
is
you what.
it is deep and full of mystery.
There is one great thing about it.
Tell
They
me.
have, it appears they've weakened over time, but there is a fire forge that grants your weapons magical
Oh,
properties.
well, we've heard of such things. I'm very happy to hear that it's still working somewhat. That'll be top of our priority.
Perhaps you could get it to its once great glory.
That will definitely be our goal. Again, thank you all so much.
No worries. Well, I am interested if you. We didn't manage to explore all of the. There was like a miniature lake in.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't really have the tools to venture very far, and went past it quick. Be interesting to see if there's any.
Yeah, we'll have to do some further exploration, it seems, once we're able to get our operations running again.
Definitely.
So,
We're ready to.
Yeah, it's up to you guys if you're ready to go.
Yeah, so go back to Vandalin.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, so we don't want to explore more.
I mean, you've seen it all, right?
We've seen
Yeah.
most of the.
We've seen everything we can see without like having extra equipment and stuff.
I'm sure we. At some point.
Okay. So you guys figure out some way to transport your captives, and probably you could either set up. I mean, they can be carried. They're not gigantic. I don't think you guys had a wagon or anything with you when you arrived.
We didn't.
No, we haven't.
No, that's in Vandalin.
Okay. So yeah, I mean it's a fair trek back to Phandalin, but it takes you all, it was about 2 days to get here, so you have thankfully a restful night out in the woods. You're able to find a great campsite, and nothing seems to bother you during the nighttime. And when you get back to Phandalin, the town seems to just kind of be humming along like nothing has happened there. People seem to be much more at ease than when you had first arrived, and you think it probably has to do with the fact that the red cloaks are gone. And when I'm going to pull up Phandalin because I don't remember what the hell things are called there. When you get back to the Stonehill Inn, man, there's so many names.
Names are hard.
You see Gundren.
Oh, it's the old man.
And what was the Scalebreaker guy's name?
Oof,
God,
good
that's on my
question.
list.
No, Yarno's
Yarno's the evil dude. Give me a sec.
Oh.
Yano was the blessed
Yano.
stuff dude, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I have the name at the moment. Didn't come back up.
I can get to it. This is top level DMing though.
Wait, didn't the Skullbreaker guy leave?
Yeah,
Barthen.
he did.
Barthen.
Yeah,
think.
that's it.
He did leave. He went back on urgent business.
Yes, he did. So you see Gundren and Linane, she's the Scalebreaker representative in the city that had kind of been appointed after your other buddy left. You see them in the Stonehill Inn, and they are drinking and having a regular conversation. And
That's a good sign.
Nundro sees Gundren, and just runs over to him and basically tackles him down to the ground. And they both just start like laughing and slapping each other on the shoulder, and they're just so overjoyed to see each other. And Linen comes over to your group, and she says, "Well, that's quite the reunion there. I'm guessing you had some success on your adventure."
Mm-hmm.
That we did. There are a few hardships we have to live with, but mostly successful.
Well, as you know, the dragons are back, so this is just the beginning of, I'm sure, much hardship. But for now, we can celebrate. Join me for a drink at the bar.
I sit down.
And so you are able to finally kind of rest, have some downtime, and regale the townsfolk and the bartender and with the tales of your adventure. Flame Skull is definitely a highlight among the crowd, and you all drink and eat and be merry late into the night, as you begin to ponder your next steps on this grand adventure. So, good job. You did it. Woo!
Hooray! Only one death.
Only one death? Yeah. There could have been more.
Even count.
There definitely could have been more. But a death is a death. So, yeah. I mean, I think things went really, really well in this campaign. I think most people, it was their first time really playing. We had to learn this new software, and we had to battle time zones across this entire planet that we live on. So all things said and done, I feel like it went really well. I feel like I understand Fantasy Grounds a lot better and have
That's good.
great ideas for the future, including continuing this storyline. So anything you guys want to know, want to say, this is your opportunity. We can just kind of talk about the campaign.
At first I wanted to thank you for setting this up and being patient with us
Yes.
and like organizing all the stuff. It was a great adventure and it was really funny and I had a great laugh.
Yeah, you've been absolutely fantastic. Could not have asked for like a better first time DM. You've like held our hand when we were when we were struggling, and you put a lot of work into it, and it's greatly appreciated.
Thank you very much. I mean, it's been a challenge because there's all the real life stuff you've got to figure out, and then getting everybody together and getting a story and winding everything together. But I'm really happy that you guys appreciated it and had a good time and felt like this was a positive experience. That's the most important thing, I think, especially with new players, is to get them hooked and get them to enjoy it and not feel like, because it can be difficult to get started and to feel comfortable. And I'm just really happy that to get that feedback and hear that that's how you guys felt.
Does that mean we're gonna get fucked the next season?
This was the tutorial.
Not necessarily.
We died in the tutorial.
Depends if you're an idiot or not.
Anything under 5
I am.
kills you.
I mean, things definitely start to ramp up. I mean, you guys have basically an entire town now that knows of you and your exploits, and your notoriety is going to start to grow in the world. I think what we're going to kind of do is I'm going to work with each person individually to figure out kind of where you would go from here, because I think some people's storylines are going to diverge, and then we'll bring them back together when we start again. But we'll work on that together in kind of the off season.
The off season.
Because we've got so much going on. I'm going to try
when we don't play now.
Try and run some one-offs just to. I have some other friends who want to play, and so I'll invite you guys too. But they're basically just single serving sessions where everything you need to know happens just in one session, and stuff doesn't really carry over from point to point.
It's fine.
Just to practice and kind of get comfortable doing things. But we'll be in contact about the next season and how things are going to work. So
Great. Yeah, I'm excited to see how like the personal stuff like plays out, if that makes sense. I think that's
Character
gonna be
development.
interesting. Huh?
The character development.
Yeah, like he had like little sessions where it would be like Demi had like a dragon dream or whatever, and it's like
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be interesting to see what happens with that.
yeah, and I mean, there's already been like there's a fair amount of backstory that we all worked on individually with you guys that hasn't been exposed even up to this point, and I have plans for that stuff still. So don't feel like all that stuff you worked on isn't going to get used, because it definitely will get used.
I felt like this was more an intro to a party, which is still, to me, they're not. They know of each other and all that, but they're not like closely knitted yet. Like this has been what, a few weeks at most, maybe a week or so.
Yeah, a couple
So
weeks.
it's like the bonds are beginning, very much like everyone has been introduced to each other.
Yeah.
And then slowly and surely everyone will come to know like things about one another, dislike, and all that other jazz.
Yeah, and that is the melding of different characters and their and actually getting them invested in each other is a challenge. And I think you as players have been super authentic to the characters that you've created, and I appreciate that, because that makes my processing around things in a logical way necessary, and I think it makes the narrative stronger by trying to keep things realistic in a world full of magic and monsters. So
yeah, I mean, like we like you said, we built the characters, didn't we? So it kind of only makes sense to try to play the character as close to what you had in your head as possible, and not like do things too meta-y or like out of character knowledge and stuff like that. Just be silly, I think.
is there any I know, because it's been spread out over such a long period of time, and we've covered a lot of ground, if there's any stuff that happened in the game where you're like, well, what if we would have done that differently, or what if we, if you have any what if questions or anything like that, now's a great time to ask those. Of course, you also know how to get a hold of me in case you just think of them in the future, and we can answer them then, of course. And I could probably
Have you already
tweet stuff.
Thought of how we're going to come back together? Just out of curiosity.
I think I have I have a very rough idea, but a lot of it depends on. I would kind of like to have you guys figure out what you think your characters would do in the meantime, in the aftermath of everything that's happened. And then I think some of that will probably be some characters together, some characters doing their own thing. And then once we have fleshed that out, then I can interweave how everybody comes back together again.
Yeah, okay. Because I know for my character that he will want to be involved in the... What is it? What would the word be where you The restoration, that's it. The restoration of
Mm.
the wave echo cave. So
Mhm.
he's going to be very involved in that, hopefully.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean
Because
that's great. Um, I think other people's characters might not be as invested in that, and
yeah, exactly.
so
That's what I
it'll be
mean.
interested to see what they think they want to do with the information that's out there. Like, I don't want to lead Uladon in a specific direction or anything, but I would anticipate that now that the dragons are back, that's going to influence um, how Uladon is what he's going to want to do next. I mean, that's a huge development. So,
Hmm.
and I don't know if
Yes.
that's like, well, I want to go, join up with the Scale Breakers to fight, or I want to go try and find some good dragons to support, or it could be something even different than that. So,
Of course. Because I remember there was a deal stricken with Gundren and Lynodin. I can't remember what it was about. I know there was that. So it's the aftermath of what everyone's been, how much everyone's been like promised, as it were. Because
mhm,
there's obviously the basic monetary rewards that some people have been offered,
mhm,
and I think
Yeah,
there were others for some, but I
it
can't
was
remember them.
the very first thing that brought us together was that it was just escorting the wagon, right? The original
Yeah.
Mhm.
idea. So it's interesting to see where
Hmm.
I can't really think what my character would do.
Well, the thing is, you felt yours has changed a little bit from what you originally
A
considered?
little, yeah, yeah. And
In
that,
what way would you think? Like, I'm interested to.
if I could pull up like my original notes, a sec.
I feel like I've played my character more as a fighter than a paladin.
and
Short
yeah, I don't think
question.
that's anything wrong with that. Yeah.
Um, Anwen, have you been studying magic?
Yes.
I couldn't remember because I think my character would love to study magic more and get get a better grip of like how to use it and
Yeah. Well, in that case, we can discuss. Uh, we can have a thing where we entwine what our characters do together afterwards, as we said.
like
Like,
that I like
I could
that we
easily
can
take you
go
to my
together
master.
and you're mentoring me or something like that.
I would say that I would take you to my mentor, who is much more knowledgeable in the arts of magic than I.
Or we could do that.
Yeah. That would be a mighty trek, though. That would be a
Oh yeah,
big old
he's
trek.
like far away, right?
I'm the far north, and you are a tiefling. How good are tieflings in horribly cold weather?
I mean, they kind of have a fire burning inside, so
So they should be okay.
I Gucci.
probably do
I'm
better
like
than a dragonborn.
Yeah, it's true.
boom.
Not that a dragonborn would necessarily have
A
a lot
red
of
dragonborn.
problems, but
Yeah. But yes, no, of course. I mean that's for our decision if we are going to like have a little bit of a time skip in order to get an event which brings us all back together.
yeah, for
Like
sure.
I
mean-
don't know how much time we will have between that, like in game time, I would say.
That's definitely something that we're going to discuss, I'd imagine.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of thinking about what I'm gonna do because I've got two directions I want to go in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Either I'm gonna investigate dragons more myself, since I kind of made it happen with investigation, proficiency in investigation in my character,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm gonna rally up people.
Yeah, I mean, those are two legit options, and we can hash this stuff out We've got plenty of time. I think, I don't want to put a date on it. It seems like August is pretty full.
Off the table.
And we might, I would say by October we should be back together. And it could definitely be sooner than that.
Yeah.
But like I said, we'll have some one-off stuff, and we'll continue to develop our characters and what we want to do moving forward.
Sounds good.
How's double classing working, or whatever it's called?
Multi-classing, yeah.
This thing.
It works. I mean, basically, when you're building your character, you just add a different class than what you already have, and then you can pick stuff in there. I haven't done any multi-classing myself in 5th edition, and so I'll just need to do some reading up about it, but it makes you it kind of spreads your strength over different sources, so you're not necessarily as strong, but you might have more utility to do more. So and I mean, the other potential thing that's out there is nobody has to continue playing their same characters. If somebody wanted to try a different character, we can bring them into the story in a narratively cohesive way, and you can try something else with a different backstory. You don't have to continue playing the same character if you want to try something new. So
sounds nice, but I'm not close to be finished with Thanatos.
So
I think I like my character.
Yeah.
It seems like everybody's pretty happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty happy, but I'm not done.
And I think there are inherent limitations on how much you can do with one character, because if you try to do too much, then you can't really do anything well. But that doesn't mean that we can't find other ways around that if there's other things you really want to try. So
So, story-wise, multi-classing, do I have to go to a, like, I don't know, school or guild or whatever?
What's the other class that you're interested in?
What's it called? Warlock?
We can probably figure out a interesting way to do that, because there's a lot of stuff going on in this world related to gods, and they're going to be... They've already been reaching out to some of the party, so warlocks make a pact with a deity or a very powerful magical entity, and we could definitely figure out a way to make that interesting for you. So
nice. I'm happy.
It's going to be very magical. The most magical.
Well, I think it will just fit, like, and I don't want any like fancy stuff. I just want fire, like burn it all down.
Oh.
I mean, help with fire.
Let me heal you with fire.
There you go, holy flame.
It feels so good, burning to death.
It's warm.
Yeah. All right. Well, any other comments, questions, suggestions you guys have before we wrap things up?
Can we ask questions afterward, like to the story and what we could have done?
You can ask those
Because-
right now if you want.
Yeah, but afterwards, I think I know more.
You'll
Like,
remember
I
things.
remember more.
Yeah, definitely. And I can tweet those just if anybody cares what the answers are outside of the group. Otherwise, I'll answer in Discord. Well, we can hash that stuff out for sure.
Okay.
Can we check out the layout of the abandoned mansion? Because we've only discovered like half of it.
Yeah. Let me pull it up. Yeah, I mean, you guys saw most of it. So
Oh, this is the mansion. Oh, cool.
this is okay. That's a better one. So let me clear the mask off of here.
Ooh.
So there is, you guys entered
We came in
On
through
the right.
entered down here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then so I kept hinting at this rope, this cord that was in the pool there. That was Glassstaff's basically his go bag, where he kept like a change of clothes and stuff in case stuff went south. You guys kind of went through the south of here, but there's a hall with a trap up here that you guys missed out on. Missed out on. There's some crypts up here that had some skeletons in it that were controlled by Glassstaff. And then the northeast corner there were slave pens where the family of the guy who was killed were being kept.
Aww.
And there was an armory up there too that just had.
Oh yeah.
Hey, thanks for the host. That had just some weapons and cloaks and stuff in there that was locked up. That was kind of the big area that you guys didn't get to see. But the rat in the northwest corner in the wizard's workshop had he was just a summon from Glassstaff. So he alerted Glassstaff psychically that that there were intruders, and there's a door in the back of Glassstaff's quarters that kind of goes up the stairs there, and there's another secret door in that storage area, and he just hightailed it out of the hideout as soon as he got the alert from his little helper.
Bastard.
Is the family okay?
No, the family's dead. They
Oh.
they definitely got killed by the rest of the red brands on their way out of town.
Oh, we're the bad guys now. We didn't save them.
Wait, didn't save who?
A family.
Shit.
When you guys first came into Phandalin, there was a group. Well, you heard about a man who had been murdered by the Red Brands. They had gotten in a big fight, and that his family was missing. But you never pursued it beyond that. So
Oh, I forgot. I didn't remember that.
you're still considered the saviors of Phandalin, even though you let innocent people die. Who would have guessed? So
We didn't let innocent people die.
even though you
We couldn't
sanctioned
get there.
their doom, yes.
I didn't see
No.
any people mourn him, so
That's what happens when you wipe out a whole family. There's nobody left to mourn.
So really, nobody suffered.
Really?
except the
I'm-
family that kind of died.
Yeah, but they didn't. They're not suffering anymore.
So yeah, that
Well,
was
look,
the
distant
hideout.
relatives.
Could we catch Blastaff at any point in time?
I mean, he still exists in the world. He's out there someplace doing something. So
Yeah, but in this adventure, had we like the opportunity to catch him?
I would say if you you can definitely enter into the hideout. If you would have gone all right instead of all left, and if you would have found the secret door, you would have trapped him in his room. So you definitely had a chance to catch him at that point. And once he escapes his room, it's largely up to the DM what he does in the world. And I was just like, well, he's probably going to go to Craigmaw Castle and tell the troops there what's going on, and then figure out where he's going to go from there. And so I've got him out in the world doing some different things. So, what up, Jules?
I don't really want to ask too much, to be totally honest.
And anything that is going to come back up in the future, like obviously I'm not going to tell you guys now.
Mhm.
So I was like, well, they're not going to go back in the Red Brand hideout to find some short swords. Like, you guys have enough money now, you could buy all the short swords in town if you wanted to and still have plenty left over. So,
Do we?
Well, I think I
I don't
might.
feel I have that much money.
I mean, a basic sword doesn't cost much, so
I know, does it taste? Doesn't it cost like 10 gold?
something. It's not bad. And there was a ton of stuff at Craigmaw Castle that you guys didn't see as well.
Shit, can I see now?
Yeah, I just got to figure out how to pull it up. Craigmaw.
Oh yeah, I forget that because silver pieces, like 10 to a gold piece, I actually have 23 gold pieces worth of silver pieces. Fuck. A lot.
Oh yeah, I have to.
We got in there.
We really did a
we
bad
got-
job
we-
of Cragmore.
We didn't. We got in there swift.
We got
Fucked
there,
them up,
got
and
the
we
main
left.
quest, and fucked off.
Yeah.
So,
At some point.
Things are going south real quick. We had
Mm,
we didn't really have the power to sort out anything other than what we.
and
I
I
think it's
didn't blame you guys for making a deal at all, because that made total sense to but the hobgoblins that you guys made a deal with only have 11 hit points each.
Oh,
They have
But
really
they fucked that dude up, man.
well, they
Nice.
had really good rolls, and they also needed to, based off of what you guys were saying. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's a bunch more goblins in there. It
We
could
also
there's
had everyone on like 2 HP.
yeah.
I was
So-
half health, I think.
All right, I'm just
Could've
gonna say
taken them.
3 people downed in that fight
Could have
out
taken
of
them.
5.
It could have been.
I think
It was. I think you guys made a legitimate and good decision for the situation with the information that you had. You got out of there the best way that you could. So
Yeah.
I
Just gonna.
what like generically, like, does everyone get droop? Like, did we do something correct to like get him on
No.
board?
I mean,
Or was that just you treating us?
in the Droop is a sympathetic character, but that being said, he also is a goblin, and it's largely up to the party playing through the module how they want to handle Droop.
I see.
good thing Emma's not here.
It's up to the party if they want to rescue him and have him tag along, then he's more than happy to do that. But you also could just abandon him and he can go
Toss
live
him
his
out the
life,
window.
or he can die. But I mean, you guys busted into the room and surprised him, and he fainted, and the rest, as they say, is history. So
Yeah.
Now he's an
I mean,
integral
as
part
soon
of the
as-
group.
Absolutely.
As soon
And
as
he'll
he,
die soon.
well, maybe that'll be a sad
Probably.
day.
Next fucking dragon is
He's
dead.
not. He's not going to level up with us. That's the thing. So the more we take him on adventures, the worse it is will be for him.
The higher likelihood he will be annihilated at some point. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm calling next dragonfly is fucking dead.
Well, we don't need to bring him along. We could just keep him at a hideout that we make up in the future. Just be like,
His bait?
no,
no, it's not as bait. It's
You're not-
safe.
No.
to stay away from the action. Don't need him.
Hey,
Make him ride the dragon.
We don't need him in the
He'll be a
battlefield.
dragon rider.
he could
Maybe-
ride that dragon.
Will probably die.
that would be great.
But I think besides that, you guys saw most of the other things in the game. As we played through, you saw a lot of what was going on. So, all right. Well, I'll give everybody a chance to make any final comments, and then we'll sign off for this this first season.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't know how many people watch this, so I'm assuming it's like in and out whenever they feel like.
Mm-hmm.
What did like? Because I know Jules mods for you. What did she think?
Oh, Jules is a dude.
Oh yeah.
Not
he-
that it really matters, but
Yeah, I think you've told me this before.
He, I mean,
Why is? Okay, my other question then is why Jules, man? Why is that your name?
That
I
is-
go by Demi.
that has nothing to do with our game. Alamatus.
Yeah, right. With one random capitalized letter.
He's done it as well, so whatever.
Now we're getting into Twitch handles, and it's
That's true.
totally off the rails.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
don't have anything to say other than what I want to plan for the next time. So, but we're not doing that now, are we? So,
Not right now, no.
So I have nothing to say.
All right.
Alright, thanked, so I don't know what to say.
No worries. It's just if you have
I'm
any other
interested to see-
questions.
Do you have a one-shot plan already?
No, there's some stuff that I purchased that I have access to in Fantasy Grounds that I can just run it. I just need to look
Yeah.
into it some more.
Okay.
But yeah, it's not going to be. It's so much work to create something from scratch in here. That's kind of my next thing I need to learn how to do. So
Yeah.
we'll be running some more pre-gen stuff.
Do you want to like do the one shots for the characters, like how the characters are developing or what they are doing?
No,
No,
they're
no,
like
it's
separate
completely
characters, new scenario.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
for the character development stuff, we'll figure out how we want to convey that stuff. I think some of it's just going to be like, well, this is my character and this is its backstory, and I don't want to share that right now. That's stuff we can bring in when we do the main narrative. But if there's stuff that would make sense to actually do as a stream and talk through, so everybody knows about it, we can consider that when we get there.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Well, we missed you, Emma, and thanks everybody else for being here today and for all your time and commitment that you've made for this campaign. It's been a lot of fun, and I appreciate you all. I appreciate everybody watching the stream and checking us out, and we'll be back with more D&D in the future. So everybody have a great hiatus, and I'll see you all again soon.
Sounds good. See you soon.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.